Welcome to our Waking to the New Dawn chat. And Trudy and I are honored to be able to share this space with you today and talk about, again, that process of waking to the new dawn. And what does that really look like in real time? And what does that feel like? And we're going to talk about how it's showing up for us. Hopefully that'll be relatable for you. But before we start the conversation, I'm going to turn it over to Trudy, and she's going to open up the space for us this morning and gather our energy.
Thank you, Kristin. Namaste, everyone, and welcome. We're really enjoying these chats. So, Kristin and I were just talking about the things that we would like to share. But before we get started, there are some things I would like to share. And sharing the energies with a meditation to get us started. So, the moon energies are really starting to build. We have a new moon coming up tomorrow morning at 4 o'clock in the morning. We have new moon. And then we are going to start looking forward to the lunar eclipse, which will occur overnight, the 24th and 25th. So if you are interested in observing that, and we know that lunar eclipse happens when the moon is full, so all that radiance occurs. And if the sky's clear, you can start looking at the beginning around 11:30 on the 24th. Maximum is 2:12 a.m. on the 25th, and then it will be complete, and the moon will be showing as full at 4:32 on the morning of the 25th. So just something to put on your calendar if you're a moon watcher and you would like to observe the eclipse this round. So let's find a mudra. And today's mudra is the Anamika mudra, and it's the mudra of self-healing. And we create fists, and we bring the ring finger out and touch the tips of the ring fingers together. And this can be placed at the heart if you have heart healing, at the Manipura or the solar plexus if you have some fears, doubts, or uncertainties, or at the Svadhisthana, the sacral chakra, if you would like to heal your relationships. So it's a very flexible mudra and can be used for a lot of different intentions, but mainly it's about healing the self. So let's go ahead and create our mudra and place it where it feels most comfortable, where you feel the energies might benefit you. And just begin to observe your breath. Today will just be soft and relaxed. Breathing in harmony to create our community this morning. Slow and steady. And I'd like to take you back to the energies of Thursday. The moon was in a region of the sky called Shravana, where we have deep listening, where we go deep to listen. What is our soul guiding us to do, to think, to feel? And moving forward in time to this present moment, consider the seeds that may have been offered to you as opportunities, new possibilities. And we'll take about 3 minutes with soft, natural breath and begin to identify the seeds. What are their purpose? So maybe you have a handful of seeds and are considering which ones are most important for this moment. Or maybe you have one seed or none, and you'd like to request some options, some possibilities. So visualize a seed of possibility. What does it look like? How does it feel? What color is it? What texture is it? How large is it? And find your way to a location where you might want to plant it. Maybe it's in a pot in your house, or a planter outside, or maybe it's somewhere where others don't often go. See the location, remember where it is. And gently move the topsoil around. And press the seed into the ground. Or, if you have more than one, add those two. Feel the love in the heart, the fire of purpose, and slowly cover, gently covering, lovingly providing a place in the earth for your seeds of possibility to grow. Tap the soil down. Create a firm location. So when the roots emerge, they can go deep. And as the plant rises out of the earth, it has full support. Remember what these seeds intend for you. What possibilities And each of these seeds will bring to you self-healing in some capacity as they emerge and grow into the future. Deep inhale and exhale. And bring the hands together in Anjali Mudra and begin to gently rub the hands. With the eyes closed, we place the palms over the eyes and feel the warmth. As you exhale, blink the eyes open, becoming aware of the room that you're in, your external world. Inhale and gently blow the hands forward, full length of the arms, gazing at the fingertips until your focus shifts and you're truly in the external and internal worlds, integrated. Palms come back to heart center. Couple of deep breaths. Namaste. Welcome back, Kristin.
Welcome back. Thank you again for the most appropriate opening of spaces for today. As soon as you started talking, I started thinking about and reflecting on, I think we first gathered for Waking to the New Dawn in June of 2020. So that's coming up closely on 4 years.
Oh, we might have to celebrate.
Right. But I was thinking about, as far as like planting seeds, how the first few years of our work was really about planting seeds of the concepts of the new earth. What are the energies of the new earth? What are those concepts and what are those perspectives? And those are still important, to talk about and to reiterate. And I can only speak from my own personal experience, but I would say more in this last year, as we've taken a little bit of a sabbatical, from talking about waking to new earth, that, the seeds were planted, but now it's time to really apply them. It's time to be active with them and really learning, for me, how to navigate with them and how to harness them and how to manifest them and really live those energies and those concepts. So it's not so much about planting the seeds of them, but more breaking those seeds open and applying them.
It's time. It's time. Mm-hmm. And, I think that a lot of us have gone through so much change in the time that you and I have been together. But I know that just talking with others, some have had some really fast experiences, things that have just come at them from the inner self and from the outer world. And it has put many people into a sense of being in a whirlwind, almost like traveling in a way that we weren't sure of the destination for sure and couldn't possibly dream of what it might look like. So the seeds that we were talking about at that time had a little different intention. It was more global. I'm planting seeds for the future. I'm planting seeds for the new dawn, the new earth.
Right.
Not really having a pathway to get there because we had no pathway. And now we can look back and say, okay, we've been here, this happened. I've integrated this. I still need work on that. And then what happens is we have a little inkling of what those seeds might look like now. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe. And, the last time that we met about a month ago, we were still a little closer of that midpoint, right, of that winter season, right? And we talked about how the energies at that point, how it felt like the void, like the nothingness, like kind of just that kind of deep, empty space of, okay, we've done all this work and we've been tossed around in these whirlwinds and spun out. And then the energy just sort of like, full. But that space felt very empty and very unknowing. And now, as we're kind of getting a little bit closer to spring, what I've noticed since we met last is all of a sudden that void for me shifted to opportunity. But
Oh,
it only came with what you first talked about as you opened up the meditation, that deep, deep listening, that really deep listening. And that space of deep listening is subtle. And it reminds me of, things that I've talked about in the past of how the soul really is very subtle and very soft. And it's not necessarily like we would like it to be in our life sometime, like those big, loud, flashing neon signs, like go here, go here. It's not always very evident. And it requires that space of really, really deep listening. And what I'm feeling for myself is, and something I like to share with other people because I feel like it's true for the collective. I mean, stepping into the new is just that. It's new. It's not probably anything in our individual lives that we've ever really considered before or done before. And I've noticed that where these opportunities are showing up for me are in ways and situations that I never would have dreamed of for myself, nor would I have wanted to have dreamed them for myself. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they're
yeah,
not idealistic at all.
yeah. When you're talking about this, what comes to mind is our lifetime. We think back to when we were children. We didn't have those expectations of needing to go here or there until we were told certain things might happen in our lives. We just kind of went with the flow. Each day you got up, and some things were routine that you knew about, and some things were not, and it was really okay. It was all very interesting. Maybe not always pleasant, but it was interesting and new, like you mentioned. Now, as adults, we've come into this way of being, and I'll speak about myself, thinking maybe someone else might share this. The patterns of life have kind of etched some things in stone. I'll
Right.
just admit to that. And so I think, okay, this pattern's coming. It's going to be determined this very same way. So if something occurs, I right away jump to the solution rather than stepping back and saying, let's see what happens. This could be interesting, maybe not pleasant, but interesting.
Right.
And that's the guidance I think that I've been getting over the last few years, where my life has become less routine, except for the ones that I choose to make.
Right.
And that's a lot of space to manage, I'll just admit. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. And so you're right about the subtle soul. That comes to me in moments when I'm immersed in something, and then I'll get this little, hello, how about this?
Right.
And I'm going, wait, not now. I'll work with you later.
Right. Yeah. I don't want to do that. No, that's not, I mean, because we have a pattern of the way that we've existed of expectations and attachments and really ingrained in predicting our future steps based on our past steps, right? And it's just a mindset that we've kind of been adopted into, and now we're kind of trying to break out of that and live more in the moment and more in the now and let go of all those attachments and expectations, which is hard to do. But I had these opportunities start arising for me, and they were just like one little kind of soul guidance at a time, right? Which is also really important to remind everyone of, that it's living in the now and living for the moment and doing what feels right in the moment, period. And not thinking about where it's going to lead or what it's going to look like or what are the expectations of, acting in that way or choosing in that way. But I had something kind of start and spreading out for me, I guess, so to speak. But it started with just that one little impulse of, oh, this is interesting. Oh, I should have this conversation with this person. Oh, now I'm going to go explore in this way. Oh, now I'm going to show up and I'm going to be an active voice in this way. And I've gotten sort of involved in something that I never, ever would have dreamed of for myself. It's way out of my comfort zone. But I'm learning how powerful it is to show up in your truth and have the voice of your truth, how powerful that is, and what it creates for yourself and the other people around you. And with this, certain path that I'm stepping into, my husband, he keeps asking me, Kristin, just how involved in this are you going to get? And I keep telling him, like, I'm just showing up for what feels right as it feels right. I said, I really have no idea. I have no idea where it's going. I have no idea where it's leading. I don't know how involved I'm going to get, or if it's going to, diverge me now in this way. I said, I'm just showing up and being that voice for what feels right. When it feels like, it's something like, oh, that feels right, and I can do that. That feels right, I can do that. But it's interesting you're talking about, those that deep space of listening. And one of my daughters, she's third year of college, 21 years old, but she sent her sister and I a little quote just the other day that said, vulnerability is the highest form of bravery.
Love that.
And it reminded me of a quote that I know you and I talked about, and probably in one of our gatherings sometime last year, about how the definition of bravery is having the courage to be your authentic self. And that's what I'm learning, like for myself. And I was asked, about, this certain situation, if I could come forward to a certain group of people and use my voice, to kind of take a stand, I guess, so to speak, in this certain, situation. And I told them, I said, yeah, I said, I'll be happy to do that. I said, but I'm going to have to do it my way. I'm going to have to be myself. And it was super, super vulnerable, because I felt like I'm going to come across in a way that's not the status quo, that people aren't used to, because I want to filter in my truths, those truths that I operate from, like what is in the highest good of all, and just those higher consciousness awarenesses, that I have.
Mm-hmm.
That was really vulnerable for me, but I went forward, and I actually just started speaking, and I can't even tell you what I said. I don't even remember what I said. It's one of those moments, where it just sort of like takes over and it just comes like flowing out. But the response was like incredible. Like, so many people were like, thank you so much for, oh my gosh, that really made a difference. And to me, it was just like a little wink from the universe, like, see what happens when you just voice you just be your truth, when you just show up in your truth.
That,
So
yeah, that is so powerful, because your voice apparently was needed in that moment and in the upcoming moments, because you're still involved in that, right?
involved with that, and I think, I feel like what the universe is showing me is, I don't know where it's leading. I think it's going to lead to, I think, other platforms and other situations, right? I am still involved in that. I think it's going to evolve out of that. But I feel like that foundation of my truth, that voice, I'll keep moving forward. I don't know if that makes sense, but
It does. And, it reminds me when you were sharing this story of a memory I haven't thought of for a very long time. But you can visualize me cooking with a baby on my hip and listening to the radio. We had music on, and there was a little news blurb that came on that a position was just opened at the university through some grant funding. And for whatever reason, I that struck me as being really important information. And I thought to myself, I'm going to apply for that. And then I thought to myself, what am I thinking?
right,
What am I thinking? And
right.
I decided to apply for it, and it started an 8-year journey that
Yeah.
completely changed my life. So we never know when the one little seed sprouts. What
Yes.
is it that it's going to grow into in the
And
future?
right. And you said, started an 8-year journey, and that's like the key to the soul. It's responding to the guidance in the moment, because that's the guidance, dropping all expectations and just letting it unfold. Like
Mm,
that's the new earth energy too, is just living in the now moment, what feels right at the time that it feels right, period. And not, having any expectations or attachments to it, but just having that bravery and that courage to
yes.
just show up in that. But they're subtle. They're really subtle little things. For me, the first subtle thing was like, I think I need to reach out to this person and have a conversation. You know what I mean? It was just, oh,
Yeah.
I think I need to go over here and gain some more information, and just really staying in the moment with it, and with everything, in our life. But like I said, it's that time of year, right? We've been pushed down under the dirt in these dark winter days, and collectively, it feels like those days have been more than just a winter season, but a few years of a season now. But I feel like, and it's, think about that seed. It's just this little tiny compact seed, but it literally has to break itself open, crack wide open, and start pushing itself through that dirt, to reach that light. And if we think about that in terms of being human, it's not a comfortable process at all.
That that can be true. That's very true. So today, really, we were talking about some intentional seeds, and when they sprout, have the courage to nurture them and nourish the seed so that it becomes the plant that it can be, whatever that might be.
Right. Right. And just, one step outward, right, of living that authentic truth.
Yes. Well, we certainly filled the time with our chat this morning, and it's been really exciting to be able to have this conversation. Hopefully, it will resonate with some people, and I invite you all to add comments to this video when it's published on YouTube, and you'll find the links on Waking to the New Dawn and on our personal and business sites, Facebook pages. So stay tuned, because I think we have one planned for next month, and we'll let you know what that is.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll look forward to gathering again and continuing the conversations, right?
Namaste, everyone.
Namaste. Have a beautiful day.